And so now we're going to get another PvZ as Dazed takes on AgGe's AgGe. And this will be interesting to see. I recently played, well, first let's introduce our players. In the top left-hand corner, as the Brown Protoss, we have Dazed. And in the bottom right-hand corner, as the orange Zerg, we have AgGe's AgGe. So I recently played a best of 7 against AgGe a couple weeks ago, I believe it was, and yeah, pretty solid overall. AgGe's biggest weakness in my mind is a little bit, his build orders can be a little bit, just not crisp, kind of not focused, and his macro isn't always stellar. However, he makes up for that with some very good aggressive builds and some very, very, very good army movements. Well, it was a weird combination of playing him because his army movements would be very good, but then his actual individual control was medium. Not bad, but not crisp. But his army movements are the strength and shining light of his Zerg play, and it's quite strong. And if you're careless at all, he pulls you out of position very effectively. And of course, without knowing Dazed's strengths or weaknesses, I don't really know how that's going to play out for him here against AgGe. And we have a spawning pool going down. Not a surprise to see. Overpool here from AgGe. Honestly, the most common opening. And wow, Dazed really not liking the forge here. And it's going to be 2-gating. So overall, I absolutely... Oh, never mind. Take it back. One base tech. Take it back. One base tech does happen. It's rare. I forget about it, but it happens. So a little bit of one base tech here coming out of Dazed. And Overlord headed up. So yeah, this will be interesting to see. I rarely play Overpool, and one base tech is absolutely the rarest thing to encounter on the ladder. Oh, okay, gets it down. So not a situation I'm super intimately familiar with all the details of how it plays out, but I think AgGe's going to be able to get a few drones down and play this out relatively comfortably here. Now it's cross map, so the Lings will be of no threat to Dazed at all, even though he is just has one gate right now. And okay, some good drone control, decent probe control as well. Both players just kind of trading off evenly here. And we see first gateway is done. We should see a Zealot start soon. Is he going to be ballsy? Yeah, well, I guess you can see he's going to need to start a Zealot before his core. And then we should see core up here. Down here. Up there. Over here. No, that's a Zealot on the ramp. Chasing the probe right now more than anything, though. And yep, there's the Cybercore. And so now we wait to see the variation. A few variations of it. You can see Fast Corsair, which usually follows into one base Templar, usually a DT or 2 to expand, and then following up with some High Templar just to get those storms and move into the expansion that way. Sometimes you see like a 3-gate speedlot build. That's a bit risky, but also powerful depending on what Zerg chooses. They're often forced to choose a little bit blind. And then, of course, there's just the Reaver variation. It's probably been the most popular one-base build that I face on ladder here over the past year or so. And this probe just getting chased around by our single Zergling over here and waiting to see what is the tech path of choice. And it's a Citadel. So are we going to see Darks or are we going to see lots of Zealots? Could be either right now. The fact that he didn't immediately place a third gate is a little bit suggestive of DT/Templar, but remains to be seen. AgGe feeling confident enough to take a third base, adding a creep here and getting his first gas. Yeah, so reasonable tech timing here. I'm actually curious to see how he's going to play. We got 2 Zealots coming in here, though, for a bit of harass, and the Lings are very out of position, so these Zealots are actually going to do some damage. Going to need to run the drones very nicely. Let's see if we can just run them kind of one at a time. Oops, slow reaction there. Loses one. Now being forced to run the other one. Sunken could have been attacked. Zealots are going to go into the main. This is pretty bad for AgGe. Very disruptive at an early time. And if it was just one Zealot, maybe not the end of the world. Okay, the Lings are out, though. Let's see how the control is. So far, it's okay on these Zealots, and just trying to walk around here. drones being involved. But again, this is forcing a lot of larva. Oh, a misclick on the pool. That very unfortunate there for Dazed. But the Zealot's still alive. They're going to get one drone. I don't think AgGe expected that. And this is getting disastrous for AgGe now. He's going to lose 3 or 4. That's 4 drones now, plus 6 lings. 2 Zealots doing a lot of damage. And now AgGe in an absolutely horrific position, even losing an Overlord here with that drone count. All he wants to do is re-drone. Now he's going to face a supply block. Does he have an Overlord in production? I don't believe he does. Oh god, no. Ugh. So horrible spot for AgGe. A beautiful time to kill that Overlord. Love the decision making to do that from Dazed. And it is a speed build, but it's oddly off of only 2 gates. So just look at how bad this is for AgGe. This desperately has to remain hidden. Oh, if he tries to sunken it up, he just can't. 1 sunken's not enough. He needs like 3. And that means taking 3 drones. He has to add another sunken or 2 here if he wants to live. His drone count is just absolutely guttered right now. And really, Dazed is in complete and utter control of this game at this point. Really would have to be quite stupid with these Zealots to be anywhere. And of course, there's no tech. You know, if there was a Muta follow-up or something, I'd say sure, we could still have a game out of it. But if he runs around and gets any... Okay, he's got wind of the 3rd, so this should be GG for the 3rd base here. There's not that many lings out. This is, again, forcing less droning. He's preparing to expand behind this. There's no counter pressure going on right now. The sunken is placed in an awkward location very far out in front. More Zealots come in, and down goes that sunken. Even nice target firing on the lings there. So the 3rd base is lost. Might lose this Dragoon here. Lings are coming over kind of willy-nilly. Good control here from Dazed. Looking much more solid than we saw in the game versus Arya. I was not impressed with how Dazed looked in that game, but here he's looked very solid. The control has been crisp, the decisions have been good, and AgGe just has had a little bit of difficulty dealing with all of this. More than anything, though, AgGe thrown off by those 2 Zealots. Those really were disastrous for him. Obviously just didn't see them, and had he seen them, I think this could have been a completely different game and a much more interesting match, but now AgGe's just... Looks like he might just be planning to go all in at this point. But with 2 cannons and a lot of Zealots here, is he researching +1? Oh, okay, I just started, though. Presumably. Yeah. Nice little poke at the front, even from Dazed. Sees a shitload of lings. I mean, this tells you everything you need to know about AgGe's economy. I don't like the decision to go lair if he's just going to go all in. Okay, I don't know why he made that many lings and then went drones. Slight chance this could do some damage, though, because these Zealots are really out of position for Dazed, and he's got no gateway and no wall. This actually could do some damage. If he can force a cancel and or get into the main and do some damage, that would be great, but oh no, AgGe gets a little bit scared of these Zerglings, and so, yeah, that turns it into wasted drones. I'm not sure he could have done damage there. He probably should have tried, given how far behind he was. I think in his position, I would be trying to make something happen. Knowing where it's at, because I mean when you're sitting on like 15 drones against a 2-base Protoss, or soon to be 2-base Protoss, with a massive army, it's just kind of an oof position. There's the transfer. Let's see, that might actually be an acceptable size, and we actually have enough Zealots out on the map right now to just fight the lings out in the open. How rough is that for AgGe? Of course, Dazed can't come in here and attack. There's more than enough lings. Oh, wow, he actually gets a creep colony out of AgGe. That's definitely overkill, but it just with every passing moment, this just gets better and better for Dazed. I think he's going to be smart enough not to try to run in there. He's just going to go check these bases, stop this from ever going up. I mean, how is AgGe ever even going to take a base? I mean, Dazed has got 4 gates now. He doesn't have tech. He's not getting Lurker. How is he ever? I mean, maybe he's gonna try to go. AgGe's gonna try to make Muta, but I'm not really seeing it happening. Templar coming out, he could morph an Archon, and usually Muta control at this level is not crisp enough to be devastating. You know, if you're playing a pro player and you have to make Archons to defend Muta, oh, those Muta can rip apart that. But in this situation, I'm not feeling very comfortable. AgGe's trying to add a few drones, but again, how is he ever going to take a 3rd base? I mean, he's 2-base Zerg against 2-base Protoss. He can't even build an army as fast as Dazed. I mean, he's adding Lurker, but it's going to be a while before he's even starting a 3rd base. DTs are a possibility, although not being built at this point. And Dazed just sitting back, kind of macroing up. I do like the lings here from AgGe. It is good that he's checking for bases. He's got enough lings that he could run around and try to harass those. But this is a scary-ass army moving out right now from Dazed. Storm is probably done. Quite a few zealots. Now, with 3 sunken colonies, I don't believe that Dazed can bust in here. He would want a few more dragoons if he was going to go for the bust. But if he just forces an attack and everything fights poorly in the natural, he can just hit 1 or 2 storms and then pull back that do great damage. Oh, we actually are attempting Muta. Alright, well, he's going to be able to pick off the Templar, although 1 Archon has been morphed. Let's see how this goes. He's going to swing around. Smart. Templar are always lagging. Now let's see, how will the storms go? Where are the storms? There's a storm on the Muta. Okay, that did not go well. And now the Zealots are running here, perhaps a bit aggressive from Dazed. There are Hydra back here. There's a slight chance AgGe's going to hold on. I think there will be enough here for Dazed to bust in, but there's a slight chance that AgGe can hold this. Is there a storm? Okay, no, he can't hold this now. Should be enough, although no reinforcements, but still, the Hydra going down, the Sunken is fallen, the damage is done. We should see a GG here from AgGe in the imminent near future. Few Hydra popping out, but again, there's not even a 3rd base. He's drilling, he's fighting. We know where this game is heading. He's possibly going to clean this up since there aren't reinforcements, but he's just got nothing left at this point. I mean, he's got to make more stuff. He doesn't have any production. There's actually still an Archon alive doing damage for a little bit longer. A 3rd base going up for Dazed here. More gates being added, I believe that is. Yeah, 2 more gates being added. Still a Zealot alive. At least he's got a Lurker being morphed. How many kills is this poor Zealot going to get? He's having to run drones. The Zealot is going to get 2 or 3 more kills and force another pull. Okay, reinforcements arrive. That might be the tipping point. These Lurkers burrowing actually might force this back, but look at the damage being done in the natural. All this time not droning. And yeah, AgGe's fighting hard, but it doesn't really matter. Can move these Zealots around to the other side. Decent chance to snipe the hatch, the Hydra den. Doesn't even have Hydra range. Just going to run out of here. Doesn't really matter, though. 31 supply to 82. Dazed has done his job. And looks like he'll be moving to 1-1 in his group. Might take it another 3 minutes or so before Dazed actually claims his victory. It looks like AgGe's going to fight to his last breath. Got to wait for that OBS, maybe a round or 2 of Dragoons, and then he'll just A-move confidently into the natural. Absolutely no chance to get out enough army here. The only way Dazed could prolong it, or the only way AgGe could prolong this game at all, is to start making 7 or 8 Sunkens in the natural. Then maybe he could make it go to like Hive. Actually, I am getting pretty tan until you start to see, like, I don't know if you can see it on camera. Probably not here, but I get some wicked cycling tan lines. That's probably not visible though, at least from this position. So I've got a very white upper body, but very tan half of my limbs. But I've got distinct lines. I'm like a chessboard with only like 3 squares or something. Alright, here we go. Here we go. A few lings running out, but again, it doesn't matter. It's a train wreck of death. AgGe fighting to last. AgGe is going into super defensive mode. I mean, that's as defensive as you can get. This almost looks like a simulation, one of those like UMS maps or Protoss where you like try to bust Zerg, but you know it's 3 base Protoss. Gateway and a Forge over here. I actually like Gateway here. Make a few Templar. That's cool. Does he have enough to YOLO swag A move? No, he does have to micro his Dragoons at this point, but he can just take down the buildings and then A move. Especially if he can hit a few Storms and Lurkers. He's not. So AgGe might actually hold this attack off because there are a lot of Lurkers behind this wall. There we go. Dazed now recollecting his Zealots, or collecting his Zealots, not recollecting. Dragoons are positioned to take down all the walls, so there goes the Hydra Den and the 2 hatcheries. There goes an attempt at +1 range attack. Reinforcement of Zealots would be great, but I believe the Dragoons now can just start to walk in here. Zealots running to absorb some fire, gets one of the front Lurkers. There are still 4. Actually, these Muta are going to absorb a lot of shots. Might allow AgGe to hold the attack, but again, AgGe's just holding and holding and holding and holding. Yeah, he's going to hold on. Yeah, those Muta just soaking just enough damage. Dazed really needed to wait 1 army round longer if he wanted to just punch through, save a few more of his Zealots. But, you know, he's taking a 4th base, AgGe's still on 2 base, yada yada. The determination from AgGe is real. I will kind of give him props, but at this point we're just getting into fantasy shit. I mean, he's got less than a drone per patch on 2 bases against a 4-base Protoss at the 14-minute mark. He's trying to double drone here to get a base. Oh, and there we go. He finally says, okay, I can call this. That drone, I don't know how it slipped by. All right, so Dazed, 1-1 in his group. Also, AgGe, I believe, 1-1 in his group at this stage.